Now, the one person that we're not going to be able to get, it appears, is T. Higgins. It
Mm.
looks like T. Higgins is going to stay, that Cincinnati is going to pony up the dough. It looks like they're going to franchise him, and then
Yeah,
that they're going to
please.
pony up the dough to pay him.
Mm.
But we'll see. But it doesn't look like we can get T. Higgins.
Bro, listen. I do a podcast with a Bengals dude, man. And so me and him go back and forth and all whatever else. And I'm not one of them Steelers that was just talking about let's go get T Higgins, right? I was looking at the bread. I know what he's going to demand. He's going to demand $30 million. He's
Yeah.
going to want $30 million. Listen, he's coming in. The only team that's getting a discount is the Bengals, and they're gonna get him like for 27 or 28 million a year. But 30, everybody else 30. I'm not giving T. Higgins, who's got soft tissue issues, gets hurt every freaking season. I'm not giving him $30 million to come be on wide receiver on Pittsburgh. We got entirely too many holes. You take that money and distribute it to a younger player or better player or a guy that doesn't have injury issues, and or you look at fleecing and flipping that into draft capital. That's how you build your 53-man roster. Paying big bread for a superstar like T. Higgins, who I don't think is necessarily a superstar. No way. I don't want him. I never really wanted T. Not as my number one option. Heck no.
No, the thing about it, I said the same thing. I think he's really good. There's no doubt, but he's going to miss games. I mean, he's missed games the last 2 years. He's missed 5 games each year. Paying
Mm-hmm.
$30 million for that, I'm not with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. He comes in, he would walk in. He's better than George Pickens. He is. He's
Facts.
better than Pickens.
That's facts.
Um, but that doesn't mean that you have to go pay him $30 million. I just wouldn't do that. And I'm a man here who's always comes and supports the channel, says tag to get some time to work out a deal for Higgins. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
But either way, I just there's other places. The Steelers don't have one hole. They're not a wide receiver away. Do you need to go spend money? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you got to spend the
Mm-hmm.
money. Go spend it. But you
Yeah.
also have to spend it wisely, because how many teams have we seen out there that just throws around money and their team still sucks after they spent all that money? Because you didn't build a team. You didn't spend it wisely. The Steelers got to go spend it, but they got to spend it wisely.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, there's no huge quarterback out there that they need to go throwing around $40 million a year for. There's nobody out there like that. I
Uh-huh.
go build it from within. I've been talking about it forever. It doesn't look like, look, there were reports early that the Chiefs were going to sign Trey Smith back. I lived in Kansas City for a while. I know a
Mm-hmm.
ton of people there. Chiefs ain't signing Trey Smith back. That's
Yeah.
not in their plans. Their
Mm-hmm.
plan is to get a left tackle. If Trey Smith is available, because the word on the street today is that the Steelers have no plans to bring back James Daniels,
Yes.
go sign Trey Smith. He's
Right.
right guard. He's phenomenal. Got beat
Right.
up in the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. He got beat up in the Super Bowl, but he's phenomenal. He is a huge upgrade over what the Pittsburgh Steelers have. Go do stuff like that that makes sense, and then we can figure some other stuff out, Big G.
I'm down. Listen, I'm down with you, bro. But if I'm going to spend bread in free agency, I'm going to get in the trenches, bro. I'm going to make sure my offensive line is straight. I'm going to make sure my defensive line is straight. But skill position, bro, they going to fleece you. I don't care if it's running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and even hell, DB. You're going to get fleeced. But they going to pay. You're going to have to pay big money to get one of those dudes. And sometimes you go after names versus quality of talent. And
Yeah.
and I'm a firm believer in, no, okay, yeah, that's a name. For example, like Chase Young is out there. There ain't no way in hell I'm giving Chase Young any money to come play for Pittsburgh. I'm not
No.
doing it. Because he doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit nothing about Pittsburgh. But there's people out there, oh, let's go get Chase Young. No. You
Right.
got to look for fits, and you got to look at, okay, not paying the low, but does this guy actually have a future with Pittsburgh? That's what you do with a free agent, because it's going to cost you a contract. Most NFL contracts are 3 to 5 years. So that's going to cost you some money to get the dude, unless you sign him with a 1-year deal with an option in it. So no, you do your investigation, you get a solid free agent, you build them damn trenches with that bread, bro.
Yeah.
offensive line and defensive line. And then in the draft, that's when you get cheap with skill position. How you think these teams been winning? Most of their players is on rookie deals.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, most of the top team skill position players are rookie dudes. You know, or they wait till a guy gets too long in the tooth, and then they bring him in like how Buffalo brought in Amari Cooper, and
Correct.
Houston went and got Stephon Diggs. Them dudes is almost too long in the tooth, right? And you see they only got them a little short deals. They
Right.
didn't do no long term nothing. Stephon Diggs gonna be on the street here in a minute. Amari Cooper is for sure gonna be on the street. So you know, you don't do that in the skill spot. You spend that 70, 80, that 70 plus $1 million in them trenches, dog. Get that line right. Get that defensive line right.
See, now Amari Cooper is a guy that I wouldn't mind the Steelers having, but I mean, depending on what he's asking for. If Amari Cooper's asking for $20 million a year, then I'm like, okay, thanks, Amari. But if you're willing to take 15, maybe 18, I would take Amari Cooper for 2 years. The reason being is, look, we got Pickens. What helps Pickens is having somebody on the other side of the field that can get open. Amari Cooper is still a top 10 route runner in the National Football League. He is that. So I wouldn't mind having him. But having said that, I'm not giving him $30 million. Right. I mean, I'm just not doing that, you know. Yeah. But we got to upgrade the talent, and you can upgrade it there. Like a Stephon Diggs, if he were to come, some people might call him a head case. Okay, still a great route runner. I would take him. He's coming off an injury. Who knows? Maybe you get that guy for a cheap. I've been talking about Darius Slayton. Yeah, I want guys that can just get open. That's what we need. Guys that can get open consistently. Not, well, every now and then he gets open and, you know, he's catching 50-50 balls or something. No, we need a guy. Look, we hated the move, or we hated him on our team, but don't tell Deontay Johnson got open. He just did. He got open. Now, he was a head case, and he probably has played himself out of the National Football League at this point.
Fact.
But, you know, quitting on 2 different teams in the same season, that's insane. But having said that, he got open, you know, and we just need a guy that can go get open. I that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Somebody that can go get open.
B, how many times this last season at the WR did you see the Pittsburgh Steelers run an inside slant and the dude got open?
It wasn't many.
That's right. How many times did you see the running back get through the A gap or the B gap and get tackled after a gain of 5, and you like, man, bro, if he just had one more little acceleration about himself, he could go get to the crib. Right. You know? So, that's the dudes. People say I'm crazy. Listen, I like Mostert. If we're going to say, okay, we're going to bring in some competition at running back, yeah, he's got injury prone, but we're going to get him for the cheap. And listen, if he hits the hole just right, he can get to the house. We need explosive players, as many explosive players as we possibly can get our hands on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So that's why you spend the bread on the trenches, and you're going to get the rest in the draft.
Correct.
You're going to get in the draft.
Correct. Hey, everybody, in case you are wondering again, thanks for joining Big G and Big B on the Big Show. If you want your question or comment up on the screen, if you're not already a member, remember, Super Chats are wide open. So if you want to help support the channel in that way, we absolutely appreciate it. Thank you guys for that. Man, we got a lot as far as holes to fill in free agency. And the one thing that we don't talk enough about, and people get mad because it's spending money on defense, the Steelers got to get a cornerback too, man. That's the thing. Like, there's cornerbacks available, good ones available in free agency. Now, I know that's going to drive the chat insane, saying, oh, we can't go spend money. You have to. You can't have bad corners. You can't have average corners and go win. That doesn't work. Nobody's winning with average corners. You got to go do it. Now, I'm not saying that you got to go. We got one. Joey Porter Jr. is above average corner. I'm not ready to call him a lockdown or anything like that, but he's above average. But there are guys in free agency, Big G, that the Steelers need to go get. The problem with that is, and why people will get upset, is because we're paying Mika Fitzpatrick $18 million.
Yeah, that's facts.
And then it's like, well, hell, how much money are you going to lock up in the secondary when one of the guys is just playing center field and making sure guys can line up properly? That's
Mhm.
where the issue comes in, is that most teams pay a corner that kind of money. The Steelers chose to pay a safety that kind of money, and that's why they got to make a big decision. It's like, we love you, Minka. You got to take a pay cut or you can't be here anymore. That's what I'm saying. Chat and Big G. First of all, Big G, am I right or wrong? And I can be wrong if you disagree. I just say Minka has to either take a pay cut or he can't be on the Steelers anymore because it's more important to have a corner than it is him.
That's 150% facts. Minka, like you said, gets $18 million a year. You got to restructure him. If he's unwilling to restructure, put him on his trade bait. If he don't want to get trade bait, you might be on the block, dog. Because you can get safety help in the league.
Yes.
But he makes entirely too much money.
Yes.
So, yeah, absolutely. And there's two corners that I like, B. I like DJ Reed.
Yes.
And I like Murphy.
Yes.
Out of Minnesota. Either one of those dudes, bro, I like either one of them.
Yes.
And if Minka would just restructure, the bread will get right.
Correct.
The bread will get right. And then we can get what we need to get in the DBs.
Correct. That's the whole thing about this, is that you just can't pay Minka. We've got Mr. S. Dresden. He says dress pass catcher in the first round, RB the second, double dip for D-line in the third and the fourth. We lost Big G. We'll get him back here in a minute, people. It's freezing cold where he's at. So we lost. I'm sure his Wi-Fi is messing with him. So we'll get him back in a second. I wouldn't say necessarily running back in the second round. Obviously, it's going to depend on exactly what's going on. I don't think the Steelers can wait till the third round to address defensive line. I think that would be a colossal mistake. But you never know how the draft is going to go. Things could happen with the draft, so you never know how that's going to go. Brother Man said to take cornerback or quarterback, and I'm like, whoa. We don't need no quarterback that early in the draft, or especially in free agency. We can't do that. We can't do that, man. Yeah, we can't figure it out. Big G is coming back. He's coming back in. Is like I said, it's freezing cold there, man. My man Leonard, who is a member, and he says trade Minka for picks so you get younger and fill the roster. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, man, y'all, I apologize. It's freezing up here, bro.
You don't have to apologize. It's technology. I mean, there ain't nothing to apologize for. We're all good. Everybody's good here. So
yeah, my Wi-Fi said to hell with you. I'm cold. I'm cold. I want to go inside.
Correct.
Yeah.
Arch
yeah,
Baby
hey, I
Doll.
agree with dude with what he said, bro. As far as like Minka, yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Leonard knows what he's talking about. He always knows what he's talking about. Arch Baby Doll says, "What about the secondary as a whole?" I think the secondary as a whole is fine. JPJ, if you go address corner in free agency, Deshaun Elliott is there. I mean, I said the Steelers need to extend him if you can. Okay, great. And then you got Minka Fitzpatrick. It's like, what do you want to do with that? You just, again, $18 million. It's actually $18.4 million. I just, now if they do it, they're going to do it. I just don't see how you can do that. It just doesn't make sense to me. It just does not make sense to me.
He's got to give back some of that bread, bro. He has to give some of it back. It's got to be restructured money. You can even put it towards the end of the contract or front loaded and do what you need to do. But
Correct.
You need to free up. I'm saying with Minka, you got to at least give me 4 back. I need 4 of that back. If you give me 4 back and I got you at about $14 million, because remember, we traded a first round draft pick to get him. Now he was outstanding his first couple of years, but he's been like disappeared the last 2 years. So,
correct.
No, we not 4 million. No, you got to give me back some of that bread. But listen, B, I would trade him. I mean, we've talked about this, and personally, we know Steelers hold on to guys too long. I think that this year's draft class in the safety room,
you can find one.
Quality safeties. I would trade him and get the capital, bro. And there would be a team that would give us a second and a fourth for Minka.
Yep.
There would be, because his name, he's a top 5 or top 6 safety in the league for name-wise. I don't know about play-wise, but name-wise. So
Even if they only gave us a third, I'd take it. I'd
yeah,
take it
yeah,
in a heartbeat.
yeah.
Our man, brother man here says, just saying we need a quarterback, but not to draft one, but make a decision so we can get rolling. But they can't make a decision yet. I think everybody's so frustrated that the Steelers haven't, free agency hasn't started yet. So you
Uh-huh.
can't sign guys yet. Like you
Can't do
can't
nothing.
do it yet.
Uh-huh.
So it's not that the Steelers aren't making a decision. It's free agency hasn't started. So they literally can't sign anybody until it starts. So
Mhm.
they'll get rolling. They'll figure it out. But you at least got to follow those rules on when
Uh-huh.
you can sign somebody. So that's all.
But they tampering though, B. I mean,
Oh, of
we
course
know
they
because
are.
we know. Yeah, there's a lot of backdoor talks and
Of
conversations.
course.
When we start having the Justin Fields talk, I'm gonna tell you some stuff that I vetted and I know happened. Like I ain't making it up. Like I got feet on the floor. I can tell you it happened. Some stuff with Justin. But yeah, there's teams, there's dudes talking to their friends and homeboys, dude they went to college with, high school coaches and stuff, setting up little backdoor meetings. That stuff's going down. But
Right.
officially, you are absolutely correct. We can't do it yet, bro. Can't do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Leonard asked what Minka's cap hit is. It's $22.1 million.
Ooh,
So
no.
think about that. And I'll just ask the chat for you guys to let us know what good team do you know is paying a free safety that has a cap hit of $22.1 million. What good team do you know that's doing that? I
We,
can't think of any. I
I'll
can't think
take
of
it up a
any.
notch. I'll take it up a notch. Tell me a team in the last 10 years is paying a safety $22 million.
Yeah, like for instance, like Derwin James gets paid a ton of money. How good are the Chargers?
Trash.
That's the stuff you got to start thinking about.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you got to actually think about. Is
Mm-hmm.
that who are you paying and where are you paying? Because again, everybody wants good safeties. Look at the Bills. The Bills had two of the best safeties in the league for the last 5 years.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, the Bills said, we can't pay these guys anymore and got rid of them. They cut them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
We're not going to go and pay anybody $18 million at the safety position because, look, it's good to have good safeties. But where is safety in the pecking order, Big G? Chat. Where is safety in the pecking order of you having a good football team? I'm not saying they're not important, but what I'm saying is like quarterback, offensive line, defensive
Yep.
line, wide
Yep.
receiver, running
Yep.
back,
Yep.
corner. I mean, it is way down the list on
Yes.
where you need somebody to have. And so that's my whole thing is that we just got to make sure that we're paying the right people at the right time, Big G.
B, it goes this. It goes, listen, it goes from the bottom. Punter, kicker. No, I'm sorry. Long snapper, punter, kicker, safety. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all the way down there at the bottom, bro. You got to have dog corners. You got to have some linebackers. You definitely got to have defensive line and the whole offense. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's way down there on that picking order, dog. Way down there.
Perfect example right here. Leonard, Bengals let Jesse Bates, who is one of the best safeties in football, by the way. They made the Super Bowl and they said, thank you, but no, we no longer need your services. That was
Yeah.
after they made the Super Bowl. They did the same thing with Von Bell. Their
Mhm.
two best safeties that were really good, they said, thank you for your services. Now, don't get me wrong. Their defense has been garbage since then, but
Mhm.
they understand. We got quarterbacks. We got wide receivers, offensive line. We can't pay these people the kind of
Mhm.
money that they're trying to make. So
Agreed.
let's see. We got Claude Bishop here. Now we're going to bring up Claude
Oh Lord.
was trolling on Sunday, and I'll give your mock draft an A minus, especially with the positions you picked.
Claude, you gave me some credit. Oh
See
my, he gave me an A minus for the mock. Thank you, Claude. I
that?
appreciate you, man. I think Claude trying to be nice tonight, bro.
He
Claude got
wants
some.
out of the matrix. That's what
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wants out of the matrix.
yeah. I know, man. I know. It's cold. It's cold. It's cold it's a key code to get him up out of there, bro. Yeah, but we appreciate you, Claude, for the five makers, bro.